Disruptive. Well, this is the first podcast of this new year, and we are going to talk about the most hyped technologies that have a deep impact. Now, meanwhile, you're guessing about the technologies we will talk about today. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make a business successful? If I asked you this question a decade ago, then you will say it is an efficient workforce and intelligent management, but now the times have changed, and subsequently the answer too. Business in today's time will be successful only when it is flexible to embrace new technologies and efficient enough to leverage its benefit. Now, how about we have a combination of all technologies given in a form of software to help organizations bring agility, assurance, and resiliency to IT and business operation? Yes, such a solution is definitely available. To know more about it today, today with us, we have Ritu Dubey, head of European market Digitate, which is a leading software provider for IT and business operations. Hi, Ritu, how are you doing?
Hi Priya, I'm good. Hope you're well as.
Great. Thank you so much, Ritu. And it's a pleasure to have you on our podcast today. And I hope this is going to be an insightful one.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
Great. Now, let's start with telling our listeners about what the company is into, what a Digitate does, and its specialization and the services it offers.
Sure. So I think you did allude to a little bit of what we do in your introduction, but let me just start by saying, so Digitate, we are a leading software provider, and in fact, we were ranked number 37 in the top 100 software companies of 2020. And what we do is essentially bring agility, assurance, and resiliency to business and IT operations. And Ignio is our award winning software suite, which has a very unique proposition in the market because it uniquely combines artificial intelligence, machine learning, and advanced engineering principles to reimagine enterprise operations. So essentially, it's a closed loop system. And what we mean by closed loop systems, these are systems that can understand the changes in behavior patterns of an enterprise. They have the ability to learn, they have the ability to take sophisticated decision making. And they not only have the ability to reason, but also have the ability to take actions end to end. And this sort of allows Ignio to solve issues when they occur and predict future events to prevent them from happening in the first place. So that's a little bit about us.
Great. Thank you so much for giving such a comprehensive introduction about Digitate to our listeners, and we are really keen to know more about it. Since you spoke about artificial intelligence and automation and different technologies, so all these technologies has penetrated people's lives, and technology is involved in nearly all of the conveniences you enjoy today. And if I speak about one such would be intelligent automation that has radically changed the way personal and business affairs are conducted. And for business, especially integrating artificial intelligence or machine learning in business operations has become really essential. So, you have better chances of scaling and achieving financial targets as well. And more importantly, it provides customers with competent, problem free, and timely service. So, having said that, with what mission the company was set up. Can you tell us about your journey as well since the inception of the company?
Sure. I mean, it's always interesting to reflect on our origins. So this was the year 2013, and our lineage is from TCS. So for TCS, it was becoming very clear that breakthroughs in technologies such as AI, machine learning, and automation, we were starting to see that these technologies would start redefining businesses and actually start creating disruptions. So for us, it started with a set of very simple questions. Can these sort of breakthrough technologies be leveraged to reimagine IT and IT-enabled services? So, right. So we were sort of everyone was thinking about these technologies a lot in the business context, but can we apply these technologies to IT itself? And that was the sort of the question we started to answer. So a group of scientists at the Tata Research Development and Design Center, they set out to crack this challenge. And they quickly realized that the winning formula is a technology that blends the ability to mimic human thinking and decision making with the ability to perform actions, both of this together simultaneously. So it took a couple of years of experimentation, of trials to sort of arrive at the first version of this technology, which was integrating, the best of AI and modern software engineering. And we soon realized when we did a few beta tests, we soon realized that what we had built was quite innovative and had the potential to play a fundamental and foundational role in an enterprise's digital transformation journey. And then this innovative technology was christened as Ignio. That was in June 2015, and that led to the creation of Digitate. And the mission was to create innovative technology products with the mission of empowering people to do more. I mean, that's what we wanted to do. Ultimately, can people do more with their resources and their time? And that's how sort of the journey began. So from 2015 to 2020, we had 8 customers in 2015, and now we are 180. And the Ignio product suite has grown from one to six product offerings. And my exciting journey with Digitate actually began about 2 years post its inception, although I was following it very closely. And we had seen some success in the US, and I was very keen to bring this disruptive technology and approach as well to the European market. We initially tested it in the Scandinavian market and saw some good results. And now we are in the process of rolling out across Europe, across different markets.
Amazing. I think thank you so much, first of all, for sharing the entire journey of the company and as well as highlighting your role since the inception of the company. And I really like the fact that your main agenda or with the main mission the company was set up was to empower people to do more. And with the penetration of the ever evolving technology, I'm sure this is going to help a lot.
Absolutely.
Um, so moving ahead, we're talking about technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning. So they only do the tasks that human sponsors program them to do. So by using these technological advances, businesses are experiencing transformations. So companies, big or small, and across all industries, are having a field day streamlining business processes for better efficiency. So can you highlight that what has been your proactive role in the company and what are your contribution towards the company and the industry?
Sure. So when I joined Digitate, which is about 4 years ago, my core work revolved around what I call seeking moments of truth, and I use this in my previous roles as well. But for me, those are what is a moment of truth. It's basically an intersection point with the customers where you can actually apply the philosophy that I talked about earlier and create more value. So one of the earliest examples I like to talk about, which was very personally involved, was we were able to, for instance, deliver business assurance on sort of a part of a parcel sorting workflow for a logistics company. So sort of manage a part of the value chain that is responsible for delivering parcels to customers to ensure parcels get delivered on time. And many such business scenarios that are heavily dependent on sort of the IT fabric to function. So my role is to determine how and where we can make the most impact for enterprises. So identifying those potential impactful problem statements, as well as where we can impact at scale. Because if you see a lot of what we heard in the market is customers find it a challenge to scale the technology, and it is important to scale these solutions to really deliver on the ROI. And that's what my focus is. So I just focus on picking challenges that are impactful, that can contribute to scale, and how do we deliver value to the customers. And we have grown multifold since we started in Europe, and now we're scaling. I mean, I'm scaling my team to meet the demands of the market.
That was quite inspiring, Ritu. And I really like the point that, we always talk about we need to have solutions that deliver value. But most of the organizations fail to understand it's really important to scale as well. And I think with Digitate and specifically you as your particular role that you are contributing for this company, I think that's quite valuable. And I'm sure that our listeners would probably take this up and make sure that they also implement this in their respective startups or their organizations for that matter. So, moving ahead, Ritu, I just want to point out certain statistics here, and that is, according to a report on the future of work from Robert Half, indicated that 39% of IT leaders are currently using artificial intelligence or machine learning, and 33% said that they expect to use artificial industry within the next 3 years, whereas 19% expect to use it within the 5 years. So that way, AI has many applications for enterprise businesses. So when you're talking about its applications and its importance, how do you think the company Digitate is contributing in the IT industry of the nation, and how the company is benefiting its client as well?
Sure. Um, so when we launched in 2015, I did mention that we wanted to leverage AI and machine learning to essentially break the silos that exist in enterprise IT, to not just rely on tacit knowledge. We wanted to drive a very high order of agility. We wanted to make enterprise operations. We were targeting 90% faster. Can they become faster? And we wanted to make the organizations resilient, drive superior business productivity, and do all of this at the same time when the enterprise context is continuously changing. And this is what we still want to continue to do. So when you're looking at this ambition and what we are trying to do, it is not about small changes. It is about making impacts at scale. So, such impacts, when you make such impacts on organizations and enterprises, this does require enterprises to pivot to a new operating model where intelligent machines have the first right of refusal. So essentially, if you ask me what we are doing and what we are fundamentally changing, the change that we are enabling in enterprises is AI ML. It's a technology, but AI ML led operating model transformation, and sort of that is the ambition that we have with all our customers and enterprises. And we are partnering with various clients across all the industries, be it energy, communication, lifestyle, travel, transportation, food, or even health and wealth, who manage health and wealth for us. Though all kinds of enterprises. So in many different ways, right? So I'll give you a few examples. So in energy sector, for example, IGNIO is monitoring the health of networks and equipment that's involved in the extraction, distribution, and monitoring of resource flows. In the communication sector, IGNIO supports the infrastructure providers with networking, content distribution, and customer feedback. For procurement functions, we are trying to see, can we prevent leakages. For retail companies, can we deliver to contribute to a very superior store experiences. And some of the sort of the quantitative impacts, if I have to talk about, so for e-commerce company, for example, we are enabling zero downtime, while accommodating 55% online customer growth, right? So can we reduce the time that it takes to predict the impact of a technology change on an enterprise by 90 to 95%, right? That kind of scale is what we are trying to address, and even for internal IT organizations, right? So can you contribute to almost a 99% reduction in the time that it takes to handle employee requests, IT requests, right? So from 3 days to 10 minutes, can you make all of this happen? And ultimately, all of this drives a superior productivity as well as a superior customer experience, both for internal and external engaged partners.
Definitely, I think I completely agree with you, Ritu, and thank you for sharing us the use cases of how the company has helped different industries to have a higher order of agility and also drive superior business productivity. So, we all like since because of the use cases that you have shared, nearly all industries need AI and machine learning. To quote an example, the fintech startups, for instance, are leveraging technology and incorporating it with their business models to compete with bigger banks. So AI is highlighting the obvious, and clients are done with the traditional ways. So you can't expect the affluent millennials to buy into your products and services with the antiquated business processes for sure. So, having said that, how do you think the company is different, or what makes Digitate innovative? And are there any key partnerships and involvements done to drive the innovation?
Yeah. So I mean, in our space, this in our space, which I'm defining as, our goal is autonomous enterprises, right? So in that space, we will need to continue to build sophisticated technology solutions in the areas of detection, learning, think, predict, and act, and vertical solutions that cater to very specific industry domains. So I think there is a lot of challenging work for us to be done, and for us to stay innovative. It is also about internalizing that it's everyone's job to innovate. People who build, who sell, who consume, and to see innovation as a continuum. So we seek continuous feedback and ideas from multiple, entities, engaged partners, customers, client services teams, sales teams, market analysts, and we do a lot of what we call Ignio days, crowdsourcing, hackathons, industry events, market service. So there's a lot of way to understand, where the market is evolving and how do we and where do we start to invest. In fact, we do a lot of MVPs in the team because if I want to make something a part of my strategy, it is very important for me to test it out if it works or not. So we do a lot of MVPs, and that's how sort of we keep moving forward. And we have about 40 partners that we work with. Across distributors, resellers, as well as a lot of technology partners as well, because at the end of the day, it is about integrating the value chain and making it easier for our customers.
Definitely. And one point that I'd really like, Ritu, is how what makes company or Digitate different is how you do that internalizing fact that you mentioned, that it's everyone's job to innovate. Like we've always heard about leaders or the C-suite executives to lead innovation or to drive innovation throughout the organization. But eventually, it's everyone's responsibility to be part of the whole entire innovation process and to contribute effectively as well. So that was quite insightful, I believe. So, since we're talking about these technologies, and you also mentioned about how you want to create an AI or ML-led operating model transformation. So, having said that, I believe artificial intelligence and machine learning are not fully optimized. So, however, except the evolving technologies, like to point out, I would say robotic process automation, it is deployed on a grander scale. So, companies are beginning to realize that increasing business efficiency and employee productivity is of superior importance to thrive in a highly competitive digital environment. So, how do you think disruptive technologies like big data or AI or intelligent automation, for that matter, are impacting today's innovation, and how has the role of a leader changed over the years?
Yeah. I think what we are seeing now is that there is first of all a very rapid pace of breakthroughs in these technologies, and these technologies are getting embedded in almost all aspects of business and life, and that is entirely reshaping the industries. So these technologies are acting as a catalyst to really drive superior experiences and new business models. So fundamentally, we talk about business 4.0, and there are four fundamental things that these technologies are allowing us to do. The first is what we call mass personalization, which is essentially about allowing us to understand the customer as a segment of one, right? So cater to one specific individual. Can you cater to one specific individual? And these technologies are allowing us to do that. The second thing is they're allowing us to create exponential value for our customers, because they can deliver a very step change in terms of better products, world class service, instantaneous delivery, at incredible price points, right? And the third thing they're allowing us to do is leverage ecosystems, right? So enterprises, I mean, every enterprise has a business to do, but it is now allowing enterprises that they no longer need to be operating in silos, right? They can look at their value chains that extend beyond their enterprises. For example, airline and hotels, collaborating to provide sort of a seamless travel and stay experience for their end customers. And that's sort of what ecosystem play allows. And the fourth thing is about embracing risk, because this allows the organizations to adapt and transform continuously. So fundamentally, the business land, these technologies are allowing us to do superior things. The business landscape is going to look very different, and change will be expected. So when this with this new landscape, I mean, that definitely requires a changing leadership paradigm from a fixed way of running a business or a company or a very top down to very agile and collaborative leadership where change is expected and people are empowered to take decision, teams are empowered to take decisions. So leadership it will be about actually embracing this paradox of empathy and result orientation together.
Definitely, I completely agree with you. I think leadership is not just about driving change, but yes, empathy as well makes a significant contribution in the entire leadership ecosystem. And I would also like to point out that empathy as well as creativity both go together hand in hand, and that's how it can impact the success of an organization. And if you want to add more, then we would also add resiliency and agility, of course, when it comes to leadership. So great. Um, so moving ahead, we are now, since we have talked about more about the benefits and significance of these technologies, let's explore the different side of these technologies. So when artificial intelligence was introduced, people were really skeptical about it. So there is a worry that robots and machines will replace humans in offices, factories, and places of work. So that thought alone already gives you the impression that computers can do the job better. But that's not actually the case. So isn't AI the brainchild of humans? So when you're talking about such apprehensions and what are the different fears that people have with regards to such technologies? So what are the challenges the company has faced till now? Was it more adoption with regards to the adoption of these technologies, or there were certain other challenges as well the company has faced till now?
Yeah. No, we had our fair share of challenges. So I think I'll maybe share a few of them, and some are perhaps very unique to us. So firstly, I think there is a common perception in the market that services companies, just dabble into products, right, into product businesses, but don't take it seriously enough. And given our lineage, this question was also in front of us. And the fact that there were other services companies who started with similar initiatives of building such innovative products, they faded away. So that didn't help, our cause. So we had to initially put a lot of effort to build confidence in the early days of establishing a software product business because of the lineage where we were coming from, right? Being the services and you're trying to establish a product business. So that's I think the foremost. And then most of the software companies they sort of tend to be narrow in their approach in the sense that they focus on a very specific thing that they were trying to solve and leave a lot of work on the client side. And our view of the autonomous enterprise, that's built on end-to-end approach to problem solving. That was a little bit, I would say, unique in the marketplace and still is. So while it clearly demonstrated the value we were delivering to customers, it definitely increased the complexity and the time to value in trying to educate multiple stakeholders in IT, because typically ITs are teams are also fragmented, and it took sort of a lot of time for us to go to every sort of a tower centric, give them an end to end view. So change management was a challenge. And I think one other thing I would say is that the hype around AI also did not help, because our AI was for a very specific business purpose, right? It was for an enterprise IT. When we began with, it was for, infrastructure, applications, end user services, very specific problems that we were trying to solve. So I would call it a little bit of a narrow approach, and a lot of questions that we were fielding were on general purpose AI, right? So given the hype that has happened in sort of the general purpose AI space and the disappointments, we were sort of feeling those kind of questions, which were honestly not applicable, but definitely, because AI is a buzzword, it takes time to do that education. And so those were some of the things that I would like to highlight and share with you.
Right. I think that's really true, Ritu, that the hype around AI is so much that sometimes organizations are still struggling to embrace and adopt or probably deploy full-scale AI projects in their respective organizations. And I guess that's still a major problem when it comes to adopting artificial intelligence. So thank you for highlighting that and sharing the challenges that you have faced, the company has faced till now. So moving ahead. The advancement in artificial intelligence has resulted in sophisticated machine learning algorithms such as the decision trees and neural networks. So these all algorithms help the managers, business owners to solve problems that they face when they are describing properties for specific data sets to get an expected output. Also, AI-based decision theoretic models can assist the managers to make decisions within a business process. For example, these models can help to decide whether a customer should be sent a product recommendation or needs a follow-up call. So, how do you see the company and the industry in the future ahead?
Yeah. So, firstly, I believe that AI and machine learning based solutions will become a very powerful force to drive significant value for society and businesses. And in fact, the European Union has identified AI as a GPT, which translates to general purpose technology, which is a status given only to technologies like steam engine, electricity, and information technology, because of its capacity to drive significant transformation in the world. And what we see with COVID 19 is that AI led automation technologies are even more significant to run the mission critical systems and IT backbones of essential services like healthcare systems, utilities, telecom providers, banking and financial services, and retail and distribution services. So it's only going to accelerate from here. So, from a Digitate perspective, we want to continue to identify and deliver business assurance and resiliency by solving complex business and IT challenges across industries. We want to leverage IGNIO and our partner ecosystems. So, we will continue to define this space and lead this space. And our ultimate ambition is to leverage the full power of AI and ML, ultimately to create self-healing, self-driven enterprises where problems are proactively identified and prevented from happening in the first place. So things should run silently for our customers without they themselves having to identify problems, but the intelligent machines are capable of keeping the, if I can call it, zero touch automation, keeping them running and silently running.
Well said, I guess. And with the outbreak of pandemic, we have already seen technologies like automation and robotics have started dominating the industry. And like you mentioned, the AI-led automated systems are definitely are going to be the future ahead. So when you're talking about the future, for certain companies or for certain industry, AI is no more a technology that was intimidating and that was felt hard to adopt. So today, nowadays, small as well as large enterprises are gradually understanding the power of AI embedded systems that is used for optimizing business processes and operations. So with the passage of time, one can expect a widespread adoption of AI for business process automation and will also become even more more accessible for all the businesses. So, one last question, Ritu. What would be your advice for budding or emerging business leaders or executives?
Yeah, I would advise emerging leaders, to be passionate in whatever they do and to dream big. Because when one is able to connect passion to purpose, it allows them to sustain over a period of time. So then, and once you identify that, then you got to work towards it, have a, like I always say, have a determined spirit, like no one should want it more than you do. And the reason that I say that, because once that sets in intrinsically, then you let go of all the barriers that you see around you. I'm personally, very passionate about contributing to equity in society and workplace. And unfortunately, I work in an industry that supports this cause, because technology can become a great equalizer for our societies. And that purpose carries me forward. And secondly, I also believe that it's important, for our budding leaders to have a long term view, because there will be setbacks, there will be detours in your lives and careers, and that's okay. But if you strongly believe in your purpose, you will eventually get there. And finally, I also always say this: pay it forward, because there are so many mentors and so many of my colleagues that helped me in my journey so far, and made a great impact on me and for me. And if we can all do a small bit in raising each other up, then we can collectively move ahead.
Thank you for your advice, Ritu. And to end it, I would say that technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning are the key ingredients if businesses want to make sense of the massive data and increase the company's overall value. So, technologies like robotic process automation is reshaping business processes and lifting employee productivity to new heights. Moving forward, a business success is now anchored on automation, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. It's either your business apply these smart systems to compete better or be irrelevant in a tech supported world. So these toolkits will disrupt the traditional systems but produce significant benefits for all in the very near future. Thank you so much, Ritu. It was very insightful to have you with us on our podcast, and hoping to explore more synergies with you to gain more insights and more values in the ever evolving technology space.